What's going on, everybody? It's Joel here, and today we're taking a look at the Griffin Fitness flat incline decline bench. Alright, so Griffin Fitness is a relative newcomer to the fitness equipment game. They actually started last year during the pandemic and just started launching off a flurry of high quality products at pretty affordable prices. This is my first review of any Griffin Fitness product, though I do have a few in the works. I have the GR3 Power Rack, which, spoiler alert, is excellent. And then I have their competition weightlifting barbell, which I'm not so sure they even sell anymore. So I'm not sure I'm gonna do a review on that. And then I also have their flat incline decline bench. So in Griffin Fitness's bench lineup, they have three ones currently. They have the competition flat bench, which Basement Brandon just reviewed, so make sure that you check that review out if you're looking for a competition flat bench. And then they have their middle bench, which is the flat incline decline bench that we're about to talk about today. And then they also have their more heavy-duty adjustable bench, which does not have a decline option, but is a more sturdy option if you're looking for something that also has an incline. So for a guy like me, I honestly think the flat incline decline bench is all anyone is really gonna need. My max bench is 300 pounds and I weigh 185 pounds. The max weight limit on this bench is 1,000 pounds. There's no way that I am ever even gonna come remotely close to that, just being realistic. So for me, I think that the flat incline decline bench hits a perfect sweet spot for most people. The price of this bench, just to get it out of the way right now, is only $265, does not include shipping. They do ship, however, to Hawaii and Alaska. So whatever the shipping cost may be, that's gonna be a your mileage may vary kind of thing. But for the price, I think that this bench is excellent. So starting off with the pad, we have a 2 3/4 thick inch pad that has a grippy texture all over it, or it's got the grippy cover all over it. And I think the density of this pad is great. It's firm enough so that you don't rock around when you're doing your bench press, but it's also soft enough so that you can stay engaged in your back and it's not like a rock when you're laying on it. Another thing that I really like about this bench is that it also tapers. The actual bench itself is like 12 inches at its widest, but it tapers down to about 8 inches. I don't have my measuring tape with me right now, but that looks like it's about 8 inches. I'm not a particularly wide guy, so a little bit more space for my shoulders and my back is always appreciated on a bench. Now, one thing that I really don't care about on this bench is the wide seat. I think that it comes out way too wide for me personally. I don't really care for it. I see why you would want it, maybe so that you can get a little bit more leverage for the leg rollers, but otherwise, I don't personally care for it. I think it's a little bit too wide for me. So the back pad adjustment has 7 different notches that you can adjust to. I'm gonna read them off right here. So you have a -15-degree flat, 20 degrees, 35 degrees, 50 degrees, 65 degrees, and 85 degrees. Adjusting is pretty easy, but if you want the actual back pad to be stiff, you're gonna have to crank down these nuts a little bit more, which makes adjusting not as fluid, but it's not that big a deal. You just have to move the actual lever or ladder with your hand so that you can get it in the right notch. So it doesn't actually go up to a complete like 90-degree angle, which is fine, because when you're doing like shoulder presses, you can't really do them at a 90-degree angle. So this is 85, and this is 65, this is 50, and then 35, and then 20, and then flat, just flat, and then your decline, which is -15. So you also have adjustments to the bottom pad. If you wanted to do ab exercises, you can do that as well. So there's 4 adjustments in total, which are adjusted with the spring-loaded clip here. So that helps out if you wanted to do your incline stuff. You can tilt the bottom pad up a little bit. And then you have the ability to adjust the foot rollers, which don't actually adjust on the fly. You actually have to take a wrench to that if you wanted to adjust them. I have them on the furthest out setting because I just feel like that fits me a little bit better. But if you are a little bit smaller, I think you can adjust them back a little bit more. So one thing that I really like about Griffin Fitness is that they are a pretty self-aware company. They know that there are other brands that bring out a similar bench to the market, so they try to differentiate their bench from the other brands. One thing that I really like that's unique to Griffin Fitness's bench is their handle. So when you go to adjust or move this bench around, you have this flat handle that you can move around. And I just think it looks a lot nicer than like the D-ring handle or like the handle that's the vertical style. It just, for me, it's a little bit easier to grab and move. They are adding a knurled grip to that, which should be pretty cool when it comes out. I don't know when it's coming out, but I've heard that that's what they're doing. And then another thing that I also really like about this bench, and it's unique to this bench, is that the feet are just normal rectangular shaped feet, and they're not like circles or not like any weird shape or anything like that. They've got some rubber grips at the end of them, which do actually help a pretty good amount with stability with this bench. The fact that it has the just normal rectangular feet makes it a ton easier to move around the gym because you just don't jam like any circles or anything into the ground when you move this bench around. It does have wheels so that you can slide it around, but you do have to pick up the bench a pretty considerable amount to get it moving. And I wish that the wheels were just a little bit bigger. And I think that would help the mobility of the bench overall a good amount. This bench is imported and uses 13 gauge steel for the frame. And while that sounds a little bit thin, the actual weight of the bench is 88 pounds, so it's not a fragile piece of equipment. I can assure you that whenever I do any of my bench pressing movements or any of my shoulder pressing movements on this bench, I have never ran into any instability issues. For a guy like me, like I said before, this bench is pretty much all I'll ever need. Though I will say that it's not the best bench that I've used. I have some higher quality benches, but the thing about the high quality benches is that they cost a lot more. Double, triple the price of the Griffin Fitness flat incline decline bench. So if you're willing to spend that extra bit of money for a more sturdy bench, you know, by all means go do it. But I think for most people, I want to say like 80% of the people out there, I think the Griffin Fitness flat incline decline bench is all you're really gonna need. The gap when you do your flat bench is not that big a deal. It's definitely there and it's noticeable, but I don't want to say it's a deal breaker. It's about 2 inches. My butt just kind of hovers right over that when I do my bench pressing, so it's not really a big deal to me personally. If you were taller than me, it might be an issue, but for like a 5'9" or shorter person, I don't really think that a 2-inch gap between the pads is going to affect your bench very much. So all in all, I think that this bench is going to be perfect for 85, maybe 90% of the people out there that are looking for a high quality flat incline decline bench that doesn't really want to break the bank, but also wants a really high quality piece of equipment to go in their home gym, their garage gym, their CrossFit affiliate, their maybe even Globo gym. Unless you're like a competition bench presser, then I think that this bench is going to be perfect for you. If you guys have any questions about the Griffin Fitness flat incline decline bench, feel free to leave them in the comment section. And as always guys, please hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.